So then, Craig, we are together the Psychology Brothers, where we talk about many pointless things, but
with a point.
Should we talk about the difficulty of understanding the inner child?
Could do.
What does inner child mean to you?
It's part of you that's scared, isn't it?
Can you have an inner child that's courageous and brave?
I suppose can be different to other people's.
Do you have inner selves or inner childs living within you now that may be affecting the way that you want to move forwards in your life?
Yeah. You've quite a few, don't you? Different stages of your life.
Have you named them?
I could only think of one name.
Do you hold them? Do you nurture them?
I do sometimes.
Do you love them?
Sometimes.
Only sometimes. What inner child are we talking about here, Craig?
The one that I called Craig.
So this younger self, why do you have trouble accepting him all the time and loving him?
I suppose because other people don't. And when other people don't, I think about that and think, oh, well, I won't then.
And what's wrong with this part of you that people don't accept?
There's nothing wrong with it.
And what does he want?
Just someone to say, it's going to be okay, mate. Maybe a tap on the back would be nice.
Male or female?
I suppose it'd be nice from a male.
Your inner child's affecting you right now, isn't it, Craig? Because all you want is a female to tell you that you're okay and accept you for who you are, don't you?
Yes.
Why did you lie to us?
About what?
Saying that you wanted a man to do it.
Because I did want a man to tap me on the back. Thank you.
How did that feel?
Yeah, it feels good, doesn't it, to have a tap on the back?
Imagine I'm a woman. I know it's difficult, it's going to take a lot of...
No, go on, I've got it.
It's going to take a lot of imagination, hard work on your part.
I've got it, go on.
To imagine me as a female.
I've got it, go on.
I'm going to tap you back now as a female, Craig.
Yeah, I've got it.
What felt better? Me tapping you back as a male, or, yes, I know it's difficult,
You know I'm going to
me
say
tapping
female.
you back as a female, that's
You know
right.
I'm going to say female.
Why a female? What's significant to you as a female, giving you that acceptance? And
I suppose I can only relate to a relationship with someone very close to me.
who's that?
Mum.
Mum.
Mummy.
What do you want from Mama?
Suppose I wanted a father. I wanted a father from Mummy.
Did you get a father from Mama?
I suppose I got a built-in 50% woman's version.
Did you get a literal father?
No.
And if you had a father, what do you think you'd have been given through feeling from having a dad?
Maybe a few more manly features, like crossing my legs like a man.
Okay, the features I understand. Featurally, when I look at you, I do see somebody that's quite obviously been brought up by a woman all of his life.
Can you tell that?
Definitely so. But more important than that, from me looking at you, I also get the feeling of the feminine within you, which is actually something that really attracts me to you, non-sexually. But it's a quality that I see in you that's very nice. looking at women looking at you, does a woman look at you and does she want the dada? And when she looks at you, she sees the mama who needed the dada, and she doesn't like that about you. Is that a potential?
Yeah, I suppose it could be.
So let's look at the inner child there that needed her dada. Is there a younger part of you that needed a dad so much that it may be affecting you in the present time now in your life?
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh yes. Oh yes. So, tell me how then.
I suppose
And uncross your arms
when you
to
have.
show me that you're not becoming defensive now.
I suppose when you have such a massive
Whoa.
pinnacle.
Oh, thank God for that. Go on.
When you have such a massive thing that happens, a deep-rooted scar, and you discover it as you get older and older, then it's something that's always going to be there.
So is there a younger self or an inner child within you that needs to feel from a woman what you could never have felt from a man?
I think it's more of the man and woman, isn't it?
Go on.
More of the feeling of both and the family. That's a real driving force.
Let's talk about a part of yourself that's very feminine. And maybe we know where that femininity comes from. It comes from being brought up with just a mum, which has made you lose connection with a part of you that you could have had through your father, which was that masculinity. And like we said 5 minutes ago, women can see that feminine within you, something that is the opposite of what they're truly looking for, which is this masculine self, because to them, fortunately for them, they had a father, and in the masculinity they saw someone that could protect them, make them feel safe. And what you may be doing in your feminine approach to
Steady on.
relationships is you're mirroring a part of them they're not used to seeing in that figure of security and safety.
I'm not that bad, come on.
You're not that good either.
We sound like a Lily Savage.
But the ultimate thing here is just to go, okay, so if a woman is looking at the feminine me and she doesn't like the feminine within me, and ultimately she's not liking a part of who I am. And if she didn't accept you for that in the past, how would that have made you feel? Rejected, needy, weak, insecure, scared, to name but a few. But if you can really begin to accept who you are and the way you feel, in those moments where you handed over your power to somebody else and hopefully they can return it with that acceptance that they never could based on the way they have needs and what they want from the masculine or the partner, can you look at yourself and go, that was their belief system and what they unconsciously sought after, and mine's very different. And if they can't accept me, I'd rather be the me that sits here now, which is beautifully needy and beautifully feminine. And if I can accept that, you can accept that, then there'll be a partner that you can have a perfect relationship with. Someone, I don't know, wearing blue jeans, a woolly dark top, with an earring in his left ear.
His?
I mean her left ear, sorry. Whew. Back in the closet I go.
Now you can really just re-heal, can't you, when you start thinking like that? You start to replace that love with a bit of love from yourself, and no need to regress back to that inner child.
So looking at the inner child then, when you feel these feelings of I need somebody, because you was only ever used to needing somebody, and some of the times those needs was met, i.e. mummy looking at you when you've done something that pleased her with a smile and a feeling of acceptance, or mummy when she looked at you and you didn't meet her needs and she looked at you with disgust, which was, I don't really know much about that part of your life, but I'm guessing by the way you are, a massive part of your upbringing. So in those moments you rejected who you was. Could you be needy around mama? Was you allowed to be needy around mama? And your foot's waggling there, 10 to a dozen. Which usually means to me that you're feeling uncomfortable. Are you feeling uncomfortable?
No, I'm not.
You can't sit still.
I don't
You
remember.
can't sit still.
I don't remember.
You can't
feeling
sit
needy.
still.
I can't remember ever feeling needy as a child.
So you never felt needy as a child. You can't remember.
I can't remember significant.
Can you see how you would be
feeling.
needy? Logically now, with the logic part of your mind, can you see that as a child, you know children yourself, they are massively needy. You've got a son, haven't you? He's Preston constantly needy. So hopefully you can see that naturally kids are very needy, so you would have been very needy.
I don't remember it.
Well, probably the reason why you don't remember it is because there's a psychological ego defence mechanism, which we call repression, and it's basically a time in our life where we felt most uncomfortable, and we had uncomfortable feelings. Our conscious mind forgets about it, because it can forget about it. It can, in a way, try and forget about the experience that it had. So maybe a lot of your lost memories of how you felt and your needs were when you was a little kid are directly a symbol of you was very needy and you never had a lot of needs met. You never had a dad that could provide you with needs that a young kid needs from a man in his life.
That's all in the past now, though, isn't it?
That's the beautiful thing about the inner child, is you realise that the stuff and the environment that we grew up in when we was kids directly affects the way we feel in the present time. So Craig can get these feelings of neediness now and insecurity within himself, and he's like, where are these feelings coming from? Why am I getting these feelings? Why are they holding me back having the happiness in relationships that I want? And it's because consciously he's forgot or he's repressed the association to those feelings that began from a certain experience in his younger childhood. That's the pain of the inner child, but actually he's a messenger. He's a messenger that's basically there to protect you. He's there to try and give you your needs that you never had met. He's fighting for somebody to acknowledge and accept him. And he finds that through the feelings he gives you of feeling lonely and like you need somebody there.
And all you need to do is accept yourself, don't you? You don't need anybody to tell you you're great, do you? Apart from yourself. And then the world is yours.
So that's the end of a little touch on inner child work, but we've only scratched the surface, so we'll probably do a few more direct inner child talks. It was a new one for us, but I enjoyed looking at you, which took away all the attention from me, which made me feel great, by the way. So thank you for taking that difficult set of questions that prized open a gaping, if not wounded hole within you. Calm down, it's only 9:30. But yeah, so how did it feel for you in general?
Absolutely. Sort of like the fear that, you know, when you go into hospital and you've got something sticking in your leg.
Don't you dare bring up my stuff here.
Yeah, it was painful. It was painful, but it's not a bad thing to talk about something that hurts. What's bad about that? Nothing, because you know what, you get it out of your system, you let it go, and it feels a whole damn better afterwards. It
does. So what's the one lesson that we can give over to these guys that we've probably learnt ourselves that we never had before this video?
Don't tell this man too much of your history, you'll regret it.
That's right. Don't ever hand over your power to blame somebody else for the shit that you're not facing up to.
Exactly what I just said.
Anyway.